we got to discuss the standings. Let's head over to the PFL trivia game brought to you by PFL Bible. Ayun. I'll say that in a fancy voice because it was Callum who sorted it out. There you go. Scan the QR code or head to play.triviamaker.com/trivia and then you enter the code on the screen. I'm gonna dictate it also. So you go to play.triviamaker.com/trivia, then put the code 903042. We will play for bragging rights, as per Direct Glenn said, of course. 8 questions, most number of points wins. Correct and fastest to answer yields the highest number of points. Make sure to click live to be in sync with the show. And us, of course, we will also join as the questions will also show up on the screen. I'm just curious, Direct Glenn, is that going to show up on the screen here at Minsan Football, the live stream, or on my phone?
So I should press join game already. So I press join game already?
Yeah, I'm putting in. Yeah, no worries. We're also in contact with Direct Glenn. He's just clarifying some stuff. Parang ano lang yan. Parang ano yan? Parang VAR. We're running the show. And then Direct will say, do this, do that. Okay, ito. Hoy, ayos ah. It's not just us. May mga ibang tao rin ka.
Nice.
Ano. So the live stream was sorted out here so that everyone could join. So I assume, I'm not sure if video quality would be affected or anything, but at the end of the day, we're sorting things out so that
But
people
this
can
is so
join.
cool. I'm so excited.
I'm pretty
so cool,
nervous. You know why? I'm weak at these types of
I'm
games.
nervous. Me also. This is not my strength, but it's so cool because there's already like what, 8 of us.
Check, you wanna
Remember the time
message
during mga COVID time? Ito yung mga best times, diba? Yung mga Discord, tapos parang you're playing games online all together. Tapos naka-live stream.
Yeah, I did a number of those with my friends actually. Yung online team games, diba? Enter the link. Same thing actually. If only we could get we can get answers from Diego. Joke lang. Let me try to read the names here. I'm not sure if the screen's it's not that clear for me actually. I'm sorry. I can only see initials actually. Anyway, are we going to start this one already? All right. Okay. Direct Line's gonna start game now. Which team holds the record for biggest win in PFL history? See, this is what I'm telling you. I have it in a sheet, but I don't know. I don't remember. Oh man, I'm not good. We're running out of time, right? 30 seconds only to answer. I also recall the fastest to answer will also get the most points. So, syempre, may premium dun kung fastest answer is correct. But if you can just get the answer right, ding, ding, ding. The correct answer is 1 TAGUIG.
Nice.
Bottom line, mali yung sagot ko. I'm not kidding though.
Which
I have it on the sheet.
What's this?
Yeah, Natasha. Which side leads the all-time PFL table? Siguro, if you go history of PFL, who gets the most wins, multiply it by the number of points. Ganon.
This one's gonna be close.
We'll roll the dice here. You think so?
You press it once pala, guys. Once you press something, you can't change your answer.
Na-touch move ka ba?
Yeah. I was gonna change it and then... So,
wala bang
fair warning, I'm helping everyone else, but you have to...
Woo! I got it, baby! Woo! World champion.
Okay, thank you sa touch move. Kasi I was going to change my answer.
Wala ba yung yung Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Is that your final answer? And they go like that.
Oh, Tash is leading.
Shh, don't jinx
it. Oh yeah. Second place ako.
What side is the most successful side in Filipino domestic? What is the most successful side?
Filipino domestic football history. Hirap nito Uh-huh. Domestic as a whole, eh. Oh, man.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
No, I'm gonna trust my gut.
Tama.
Yeah. I was gonna read the names, actually, yung mga
No!
following sa the scores, but we carried on. Oh, no. Mali yung score ko. Yari ako kay Paulino Alcantara and Jason De Jong because I gave a wrong answer. Yeah. Everyone got that wrong, I think, from what we are seeing on the screen. Oh, that was the leaderboard pala, sorry. So, hindi pa yan updated. So,
Okay,
there,
so
Bohemian.
Bohemians have recognized. Nice.
Yeah.
Bohemian Sports Club.
That's 10 titles. Brought to you by PFL Bible again. But let's get to the next question. Since the PFL start in 2017, who has
Ooh.
played the most minutes?
Damn!
Ang hirap
Okay.
nito.
I may have seen... This
Oh.
is Wikipedia ata to eh.
I have two, but shut.
Yeah, me also. But
Sorry,
This
I'm
is-
cursing. That's what happens when we're playing games.
can I slightly spin off kwentuhan after we see the answer, if you don't mind, Natasha?
Yeah, I have two options.
I'll roll the dice already here. I gave my answer. Let's wait in a bit also.
No!
Okay, I got it.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
okay.
Jan, but yeah. But I
Batchmate
remember
ko yan.
it. I keep forgetting that you cannot change your answer.
Yeah. Matt Nieras, batchmate ko yan in
But
commentating.
Matt Yaris was also.
Yeah. You
but
know,
I thought
there's
it
a
was gonna
point
be
in
Matt.
time.
That was it.
There's a point in time the player with the most appearances for PFL was actually your brother Nathan. I remember seeing on Wikipedia.
Oh,
years back.
nice.
There's a time he had that record also. A similar record, rather. So there, it's Matt Nieras. Batchmate ko yan sa commentating.
Yeah, I was thinking
Who
Matt
is
or
the
Jan.
youngest goal scorer in PFL history? So PFL lang to, 2017 onwards. Oh, this is so hard because of the Tuloy boys because they all score. Uy, mamaya yung mga
Oh,
iba, you
no.
guys are opening. Mamaya, the other guys are opening and searching stuff.
Oh, wala.
I'm trying to not.
I don't know the age
Okay.
time. This is wild guess. Because I
Yeah,
know,
ha, ha.
because in my head, it's a Tuloy player. In my head, it's a Tuloy
Shout
player.
out.
Must be.
Shout out Calum, I mean, he sorted that all out. Dikit pa yung mga
Yeah.
sagot dito.
This is fun. This is pretty fun.
Oh!
No!
Sorry.
I put Diaz.
You guys,
What did you guys put?
I didn't even press one. I
Put
was taking
Villanueva.
that long. I was going to go with John Diaz. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ayun,
Oh, here's the trivia.
Okay, he's just 16 years old, 8 months and 21 days. Denmark or Rakoy.
Versus Montet. Okay, yeah, the goal obviously counts in that situation. Not taking anything away from Denmark.
Taken part in the PFL. Wow. How many teams have taken part in the PFL since it started in 2017? Oh, god damn.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of teams.
Mhm. That's a lot of teams.
I'm guessing again.
Me also. I'm just making like a calculated risk with some
Wow.
logic. Sige. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Wala bang phone of
Si
friend
Chino
dito?
pala second place.
If you put
Si Chino
if you put-
second place.
if you put 11 now, let's say JPV,
Yeah.
you put 21?
Yes. Yeah. Ako, what I did, kasi...
We
ano
should
yan,
go through this
There's a
later
time-
on. Oh.
There's a time we had 15 teams, diba? So I'm like, that number has to be a bit high.
Yeah.
That was just my reason for the guess. So si Chino yan leading the way. 199. You think I would have gotten points even if I put John Diaz as my answer kahit mali? I'm in second place right now.
We also nga, I put John dito.
No, sorry. I did not even put John Diaz. I didn't press. I was taking that
Ooh.
long.
How many sets of brothers?
Yeah. How many sets of brothers have played in the PFL?
Wow.
I kind of feel bad because I like saying when you have a brother on the team and stuff, but I never bothered counting how many. But it is common. But I gave my answer
Yeah.
already. Okay, now I'm regretting my answer. Baka masyadong mababa. I said 9. Menzies, Vasquez, Okay, yeah, that sounds a bit,
Okay,
Menzies
the
lead the way. Ayun,
Menzies have
most
the
appearances
record.
yung Menzies. Next
It's the last
question.
question.
It is the last one. Question 8 of 8. Only one of these players did not play for 5 different PFL clubs. Damn. Okay. Direct, please give me time. I'm thinking pa. Preset pa ba
Wait
yung
lang, wait
oras?
lang. Wait lang ha.
Yeah, I'm trying to also eh. Okay, I locked in my answer.
Okay.
No.
No!
Oh,
This is a lie.
come on,
This
Shucky's
is a lie. This is a
Shucky's
lie.
gonna kill me
Wait,
for this.
hasn't played. Wait, he played for ADT for a time, right? There was United
Correct.
City, there was Ceres, there's one Tagig, and then there's Stallion. That's 5.
Ay, can I add one more? Pero
I think he
Copa
combined
siya,
ano.
Club de Foot.
I think he
Club de Football Manila.
No,
I think
that's
UCFC and
5.
Ceres go as one here.
No,
But-
it's not.
How about
It's not.
Sino yan?
I cannot
let's add
accept
Club de
this.
Football Manila.
I cannot accept this.
I get your logic
He
though.
played for 5.
Oh, wait. Teka, may bar check tayo courtesy
One
of
against
Caleb. He's
Stallion,
commenting
United.
daw.
Ceres. How about Ceres?
Yeah.
Ceres is counted.
No, parang licensing wise, I know.
As we enter the halfway point of the first round, one team remains at the top, unscathed and unbothered. However, a worthy challenger looks to break the streak and prove that they are going for the title. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rizal Memorial Stadium. This is one Tagig FC going up against Kaya FC Iloilo. On the other side, you have one Tagig FC. Newcomers in the name, but it's just a massive game that we have out here. Will it be this game that the league leaders are going to rattle?
See Iloilo, 3 games in 9 days. Tough games as well. It was a Stallion last week, and a couple things to consider.
Well,
No coach Scott Cooper here today. I haven't seen him at the stadium.
Goldson, Despacet, Zambrano, 1-2 with Odd. Martini Rey moving forward. Foul is called against. Odd opts to take it, but the header is out for a corner. Good dribble there from Del Rosario. Cross inside for Ott. Bugas controls, takes a shot using the outside of the boot, but unable to get the curl he wanted. So Hartman now with the delivery from the free kick. Header in. First real test for Cortez and Lips. They reset with Angeles. Good 1-2 passing again from Kaya. Ott to Bugas. Player goes down. Foul is called, and it's going to be a free kick right at the edge of the box for Kaya FC Iloilo.
First area.
Dangerous spot for a free kick here. You have Mike Ott. Looks set. Everybody inside the box for Kaya is waiting for the delivery. Going the far post. Headed away by one Tagig, and it's going to be a corner. Good 1-2 for Agiemang. Olivias being challenged here by Arboleda. Through pass for Reichelt. On the right side, Yamazaki's there to cover. Good cross. Headed away.
A corner in their favor.
Pressure stays on for KFC Iloilo here as a corner. Delivered inside, and it's the opener for one Taguig FC. And that's actually number 3, Frank Akoto. We've been trying to find the way to know about this guy before the broadcast. But he said, my name is Frank Akoto, and I just opened the scoring against the league leaders, who now concedes a goal in the Philippines Football League 2025-26 season.
The delivery from Mark Hartman going to that far post. Cortez was caught off position. Forward as well. And halftime stats, possession-wise, 43% possession for one Taguig.
On the 29th of October against title race is heating up, and this fixture will surely be a classic. The defending champions Kaya FC Iloilo takes on one Taguig FC in the hopes of positioning themselves well to keep their hands on the title. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rizal Memorial Stadium. My name is Jamer de la Cruz alongside Diego Cordero. And Diego, what a match we have at hand. Two teams on a winning streak. One team will have to say goodbye to that winning streak. Which one will it be? We'll figure out by the end of 90 minutes.
Yeah, this match is absolutely massive for so many reasons. You know, the PFL title race, you have the team in first against the team in second. Then you also have the race for international football. All of those races are going to be influenced by whatever the result is here tonight. As you can see in our table, it is so tight at the top that every result between these two teams is going to matter at the end of the season.
We've been talking off air earlier, Diego, that these two teams, Kaya FC, Iloilo, sitting at first with 33 points, and one Taguig FC with 30 points on second place. There is a 3-point difference between these two sides, but one thing that is glaring are the number of matches. So far, one Taguig has only played 11 matches. Meanwhile, Kaya FC Iloilo has already exhausted it with 13 games.
Yeah, it means that we're not yet at the point of the season where every team has played the same amount of games. However, you know, it is still quite a statement to say that you're top of the league, no matter how many games you've played. And yeah, whoever wins tonight is going to be able to make that statement against the other team. And it's going to send a message down to the other teams also competing for honors, the likes of Cebu, the likes of Manila Digger. They're going to be keeping an eye on tonight's result because it is just that big for the league.
Talking about message being sent, we've been given a treat in the first round of match between one Taguig FC and Kaya FC Iloilo. It's been end-to-end, but the difference that time was Frank Akoto scoring that header on the 31st minute. Talk us through the duel that they've had in the first round.
Yeah, so that was the first time Kaya had lost a game this season. Also the first time that Kaya were conceding a goal in the whole PFL season. So one Taguig were really the team to make that statement earlier on in the season. However, that makes things interesting because on the one hand, they have that psychological advantage of saying, we beat you already. On the other hand, it might motivate Kaya even further. And we know what Kaya have done in the past to their title-chasing rivals. This match is completely open.
Well, it's going to be interesting between Kaya FC Iloilo and one Taguig. They've already faced each other in the first round. It's been a tight game between the two of them. And there's so many faces that we're going to be looking at. But for Kaya FC Iloilo, it's this guy right here, Julius Mirbach. Ever since his introduction in the Philippines Football League, he's been on a tear, scoring 7 goals in just 3 matches, if I'm not mistaken. Goes to show the caliber of player that Kaya FC has acquired in Julius Mirbach.
Yeah, and the thing that obviously excites a lot of Filipinos is that he is of Filipino ancestry. Doesn't have a passport just yet, but it is a possibility for the future. But even talking about his impact now, he's come into this team and he's added goals, which is what he was signed to do. And the most impressive thing about him is that he's not even been so involved in all of the games he's been playing. He just makes use of the few touches that he does have in the opposition's penalty box. And that's what you need in a top striker.
Well, this is going to be the first litmus test for Julius Mirbach, as this is going to be the first team in the upper six of the standings that they're going to be facing as we look into the starting lineups. You have Patrick Data on goal for them, a steady hands for Kaya FC Iloilo. Then you have Julius Mirbach at the front. What do you make of the starting lineups that Coach Yu Ashide has in this one?
It's definitely a lineup that has been affected by the transfer window. So they lost key players, but also signed key players as well. They've been good so far. However, this is going to be their biggest test yet. And this is the test to see if they are ready, to defend that title, which they want to do so badly. But nevertheless, there's enough quality in that starting 11 on its own that is good enough to win any game in the PFL.
Well, the quality on the starting 11 is going to be depending on the quality on the touchline, as we have Coach Yu Ashide to focus on. But before that, talking more about Julius Mirbach out here. Like what I said, he's been on a tear for Kaya FC Iloilo. He's just 4 goals away from the top goal scorer, Finn McDaniel, at the top. And he's looking to, make his exploits here against One Taguig.
Yeah, he's such a marksman because he doesn't need a lot of chances to be efficient. And yeah, if you just give him even a sniff of space, he will try to punish you. Again, he has so many layers to his game because he has goals running in behind and finishing one-on-one. He has goals where the box is crowded, but he's found space and made the finish. So he's a player with multiple layers.
Check that. It's actually 8 goals away from Finn McDaniel at the top of the goal scorers list. But then again, having 3 games in the competition says so much for Mirbach, the Phil Norwegian, making it good for Kaya FC Iloilo on the scoring end. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to play out in this game against One Taguig.
And the interesting about Mirbach as well is he's formed a good connection already with his team. Already has a combination with Mike Ott. 3 goals they've created together. So it's a combination that has already made so many goals for Kaya.
Well, what's going through the minds of Coach Yu Ashide? Let's listen into him as we take a look into the squad of Kaya.
Yes, it's going to be really, really tough game for us. But yes, we have to enjoy this moment. Yeah, our momentum is really good. So hopefully this will be good for us. Thank you.
That's Coach Yu Ashide of Kaya FC Iloilo talking about the momentum that they have coming into this game, a 5-game winning streak. Now let's talk about One Taguig FC. Second in the league, 30 points, 11 matches played. But more importantly, they've bolstered their squad as well during the transfer window.
Yeah, and again, they are second place, but Coach Scott Cooper, who before he left them in a really good position coming to the end of 2025. They were actually top of the league when the year ended last year, but they've been in such a good position for quite some time now. Even though they are second place, they do have those games in hand. And yeah, they are 6 points from a maximum 6 in 2026, which means to say that they've been perfect as well.
Napag-usapan nga natin before the broadcast, with 11 matches played and 33 points, if the number of games played are on a level, they might just be on a 3-point advantage over Kaya FC Iloilo. But nonetheless, they have games to make up for. But still, again, it's something that is interesting with One Taguig, having the kind of squad that they have right now. And like what you've mentioned, Coach Scott Cooper leaving them in good hands for the rest of the season. So, it's all for the marbles for this game between Kaya and One Taguig. As we check in to the starting lineups for One Taguig FC. Milos Kupic on goal, and Marcus Haber starts for One Taguig FC. One of the quality signings or the major signing for One Taguig FC, and as well as pairing up with Daisuke Sato at the back. You also have Kiki Reichelt up front. I mean, Coach Arvin J. Suleiman is just spoiled for choices on this One Taguig side, but who are you looking out for in this starting 11?
well, obviously a lot of names to look out for, but a lot of national team experience as well, not just for the Filipinos in that squad, but for the other names in that squad. One of them being the new signing, Marcus Haber. What a signing he is, because he is a player with a really, really good CV. The biggest question mark, obviously, will be his age, but I don't think there's any denying that, this is a player who's played at a really high level across Europe, across Southeast Asia. And yeah, we'll see what he adds to this one Taguig side. But if they've taken a signing like that, it must mean that there is something for him to add to this team.
Haber boasting 27 caps with the Canadian national football team, scoring 3 goals for them as well, and plying his trade in Bangkok FC before moving over to the Philippines Football League. So another star signing coming into the Philippines Football League. But how he's going to be used in this game, let's listen in to Coach Arvin J. Suleiman.
So okay, this match is for sure a big game for both teams. No, it's a must-win game for both of us. So yeah, I think this game also is a very tight one. So all the best for the both team, and we hope that one Taguig will win the 3 points today.
So that's Coach Arvin J. Suleiman of One Taguig FC. But in a few moments, we have Kaya FC Iloilo versus One Taguig FC second round matchup. It's going to be a classic like what we've said at the start. We're just hoping for a banger of a game right here, Diego.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's chaos, hoping that there's goals, and there's certainly enough quality in both of these teams for this match to be an absolute banger. I'm hoping that it's a good reflection of what the best teams in the PFL can bring to us, because this is not just the best teams, this is the best of the best right in front of us here tonight.
Well, folks, grab your popcorns, your snacks, or whatever you want to eat or drink, because we're going to be having a firecracker between Kaya FC Iloilo and One Taguig FC in a few moments here in the Philippines Football League 2025-2026 Round 2 for these two sides. Kaya FC Iloilo against One Taguig FC round number 2. We have the starting lineups once again for Kaya FC Iloilo. Patrick Dato on goal, manning the posts against his friends and former teammates in the national team over at One Taguig FC. Julius Mirbach hoping to exploit the defense of One Taguig, as well as Jan Melisa, the team captain. Right now, Dice Quesato, the team captain of One Taguig FC, in the middle of the pitch. He will be joined by Jan Melisa from Kaya FC, as we have our officials for this match, Raymar De Los Santos is the first referee assisted by Paul Galicia and Brian Buergo. Fourth official is Aldous Mirafuentes, and our match commissioner is J.M. Pagilla.
Both of these captains, they're gonna shake hands now, but trust me, once the first whistle starts, there's gonna be nothing friendly about this match. Again, we were talking about it earlier. This is a 6-pointer. It's not just 3 points up for grabs. You take 3 points and you take 3 points away from your direct rival. So there's everything to win and everything to lose for this match, and a very exciting prospect for the Filipino football fans here in Rizal Memorial, and for those of you joining us in the YouTube stream.
Well, we have one Taguig FC out here manning up against Kaya FC Iloilo. All eyes on Marcus Haber as we get his first real test in the Philippines Football League. But looking on the substitutes for both sides, quality exuding for both sides as well. We have Jovin Berig on the bench for Kaya FC Iloilo. You have Marco Casambre, Lucas Del Rosario as well, and Kaishu Yamazaki. Then on the other side, you have Stefan Schrock, who has returned to one Taguig FC following a short spell with Stallion Laguna. You have Hamed Hajimadi. I talked to him before the game. He's been injured, but the mindset might not be there yet, but he's hoping to get some minutes into this game as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot of game changers on both sides. Really, you could look at any individual from both teams and say that this is an individual who can change tonight's match. And that makes it all the more exciting because, you know, a moment of genius, a moment of quality can come from absolutely anywhere here tonight.
Well, 16 goals scored for the day for the first two matches. We have our Saturday main event again between Kaya FC Iloilo and one Taguig FC. One Taguig with Kiki Reichelt to start things off, playing from left to right, wearing white and blue. Kaya FC with their traditional yellow and black, playing from right to left.
Expect these first 5 minutes actually to be quite chaotic. You know, both of these teams are going to try to assert their dominance on this game, and I expect the physicality and the intensity to be at the very top right from kickoff.
And we have kickoff, ladies and gentlemen, in this Saturday main event between Kaya FC Iloilo and one Taguig FC. Expect some firecracker of a match between these two sides. We've had plenty of goals in the first two games. Let's hope for more here in this matchup. PS on the right side, cleared away by Kaya. Testing the waters are one Taguig FC. Haber trying to fight for that ball. And right from the get-go, you could feel that Haber's going to use that physical advantage that he has on the back line of Kaya FC Iloilo.
Yeah, he stands at a tall 6'4" or 6'3", but nevertheless, he is such a physical presence. Already twice there. The first one, he won a flick on. Hiriishi coming to the second ball, and the cross was played in. And the second one here is just tussling with Toyota. That's the type of player he is. He is such a physical presence. You know, in Cambodia, he was called the king of the header because of how good he is aerially. You see, all they need to do really is give him a chance to use his strength, and he will be a problem for so many of the defenders in the PFL.
A bit of a clash between Haber and Toyota. All is good for the center back of Kaya FC Iloilo as Patrick Dato rises to the occasion and gathers the ball from Haber.
Dato has a big night tonight. In front of him are Haber and Reichelt. Definitely not a strike partner that is easy to play against. Actually, quite an interesting trivia fact is that it's actually not the first time Haber is playing against a Filipino goalkeeper. He played against Neil Etheridge twice in Thailand and twice in England.
Nice. I believe you've also mentioned before the broadcast that Haber used to be teammates with Jack Grealish.
Right, they were teammates in Notts County in England. That's a sign also of the level Haber's reached. So he played across England, played across Scotland, and then made the move to Southeast Asia.
Talking about the quality now, one Taguig FC switching the play from left to right. Reichelt, acres of space, nobody there. Haber has been covered by the back line of Kaya FC Iloilo. Janjan Melisa having a bit of a scrap with Daisuke Sato, who wins the ball for one Taguig. Hiraishi with the cross. Header in. Haber inches away from the goal. Then again, another threat coming in from the new signing of one Taguig FC.
Yeah, that's another warning sign. You know, all he needs is a pocket of space and a good cross. He scored so many goals like this in his career with a first-time header. He did it in England, probably the most physical footballing country out there. He has quite a few years on his belt, but you know, age. He only gets smarter with age. A player like that who can use his movement, he's definitely a problem for the center backs tonight.
Bit of relief for Kaya as they are up front. Komaki's not going to challenge that ball, so they win themselves a throw in deep into the side of TAGUIG. Yoshio Oshide, of course, no stranger to high caliber opponents. Has been plenty of experience in the AFC Champions League too, as well as in the Shopee Cup. Both teams looking to position themselves for those international football competitions. So far, so good in the first 3 minutes of this game between Kaya and TAGUIG.
Yeah, both of these teams just feeding each other out. Again, the level of quality on the pitch right now is so incredibly high that any mistake earlier on could be pivotal. That's why both of these sides maybe also a bit hesitant at the moment. No one wants to make that first mistake of the match because at this level, any mistake will get punished.
It's kind of like the same thing for our viewers sa mga bahay, no? You blink and you might miss it. That's the kind of game that we have right now between Kaya and TAGUIG as a long ball sent forward by Toyota, but nobody up front as it will go past Melisa for a goal kick. Decent amount of crowd as well we have here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium for this main event. Again, a fixture of the highest quality in Philippines Football League. So, kung malapit lang kayo, you still have plenty of time to make your way down here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, and this is definitely a match that deserves a big audience because you see how much it means for the two teams, how much it means for the PFL, and the level of talent that is on show this evening.
Agyemang missing that pass, freeing up Kaya up front right away, and a foul is called for TAGUIG FC. Talked about the fans, the spectators that we have here in the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Might not see it. Of course, you might have seen him now, Coach Mark Torcaso of the Philippine Women's National Football Team. After the send-off that they got and the homecoming last Friday at the MOA Sky, our women's national football team will go to Australia for the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Their first fixture is going to start on the 1st of March against the hosts, Australia.
Exciting stuff. A lot of reasons to be excited for that tournament and a lot more football action for Filipino fans.
Back to live action we go as Mike out with a cross. A header and well met by Milos Kupic, who raises his hands in jubilation. But the danger is not over as Kaya looking to string a couple of passes to make it forward, but a foul is going to be called on Maluman Soko.
Great hands from Milos Kupic. He's the Golden Glove favorite at the moment for a reason. Good reactions here. Excellent cross from Ott. Header came in from Diano at point-blank range, and if it's either side of the goalkeeper, it is probably a goal, but good reactions nonetheless from the Serbian, the former Serbian U19 international, and already showing his good reflexes.
That's one of the combinations that we'll be looking at as well for Kaya FC Iloilo. The free kick from Mike Ott and a header from Vincent Diano. Diano has been an aerial merchant as well for Kaya FC Iloilo. He's had plenty of goals for them through set pieces or even headers. So let's see if that's going to work for Kaya. As TAGUIG FC moving forward now. Hartman with a pass to the right side for Oli Bias. Good tackle from Odi Menzi. The play continues for TAGUIG. Mark Hartman takes it back. Agyemang finding the space, but being covered well by the back line of Kaya. Hiraishi looks to reset with Daisuke Sato. Long ball forward looking for Haber. Good coverage again by Odi Menzi, helping Patrick Data to gather the ball.
Very intense stuff. Already you can see that everyone on either side is on edge because of how much this match means. It's up to either side now really to, slow the game down to their tempo. But at the moment, as a neutral, I'm loving the 100 miles an hour pace that this match is going.
It feels like this is just a continuation of that matchup back in October last year. That 90 minutes weren't enough to really determine the real winner in the elimination rounds for Kaya and One Taguig. As Kaya moving forward now, you're back with the first touches of the ball. They will have to take it back. Eso being forced to a back pass. Toyoda. Now Eso opting to pass the ball to Odimenzi. 1-2 is not there. Haber all alone, and the ball will just wriggle its way back to Dato.
I just wonder how much One Taguig are going to miss Franco Cotto tonight. He's not here, not even on the bench. He was the match winner, if I'm not mistaken, the last time, and he's not here tonight.
Now on the other side, you have Shuto Komaki looking to dance with Olibias. The tune is not right, or yes it is. Not yet, as he's been doubled up. Still, Komaki, short cross. Not sure if it's a cross or a shot, but it's gonna go out for a goal kick.
Again, Shuto Komaki is such a problem for all PFL defenders. He wasn't there in the first match between these two, and they missed him in that match because you could feel that his presence would have helped them out, break down that One Taguig defense. But he's back for this one. Definitely a different type of opponent for Olibias, and it's going to be an interesting deal because Olibias is not naturally a defender, so Shuto Komaki can get at him. At the same time, Olibias is going to try to venture forward to force back Shuto Komaki.
That's another interesting thing that you've pointed out about Olibias. We're used to seeing him play up front as a winger, but now he's opting more of a wing-back position for One Taguig. Almost a mistake here, but Kupic steady hands for him. Good header back as well by Stephen Hom. Sato to Kupic, who sends it out. Only as far as Eso. Now Kaya trying to move forward. Foul is going to be called against Hiraishi.
Saw what happened the last time Kaya had a set piece from a similar area. One Taguig already had that warning sign. They cannot afford the similar type of mistake as we see the Filipinas, as we were talking about earlier.
Our Filipinas in the VIP section of the Rizal Memorial Stadium, having some entertainment here in the Philippines Football League. Of course, from everybody here in the Philippines Football League, we wish them luck for the upcoming AFC Women's Asian Cup in the land down under. Free kick for Kaya FC with Jan Melisa and Mike Ott. Ott with the delivery into the back post. That's going to be a corner for Kaya. I think this is the first one for Kaya FC Iloilo.
If I recall correctly, when Nakoto scored against Kaya last time, it was also a corner. The match was so closely contested that it was a corner that decided everything. We wouldn't be surprised if it's that tight again tonight and a set piece is the undoing of either side.
It's going to be a tale of the breaks in the game here for Kaya and One Taguig, as a corner has been brought in by Komaki. Angeles pass to Ott on the right side. Ott shapes up and takes a strike. Kupic with a save. Angeles couldn't get the shooting boots there. Counter-attack time for One Taguig FC with Kiki Reichelt starting the attack. Dice Quesado moving forward as well for One Taguig. The team captain being covered by Eso. Cross, looking for Hartman with a first-time strike. Oh! Saved by Dato. Haber pleading his case that it might have crossed the line, but Dato says no.
Well, Hartman, everyone was expecting the volley to be a rifle. In the end, it was a looping miss-hit. And that was nearly the undoing of Dato, but I think that's a really good save from Patrick Dato. Because that was looping in just about. Doesn't cross the line according to the linesman. He has the best view, of course.
Felt like the shot is going to be so powerful that it's going to ripple the net, but it was a looping ball, so it has been a challenging attempt from Hartman. Of course, Dato still with the quality that he has, showing good for it and saving that shot.
Yeah, both goalkeepers already making really good saves. A couple minutes ago, Kupic also called into action once again from a shot from Ott. Both goalkeepers bailing out their defenses. But it's been a very open game so far. Very exciting for the fans.
Menzi with the ball against Bias. Takes it back to Dato. 13 minutes into this game, and both sides really testing the goalkeeper's mitt so far. I think the goalkeepers are proving us wrong, Diego. We should have picked them as players to watch for this game, because they're going to be in the heat of the battle for this top-of-the-table clash as a foul is called against Kaya.
And we ended up picking the two strikers instead of the two goalkeepers. But nevertheless, I'm sure there are so many more duels to come in this match. At midfield battle also, it's going to be quite the duel. It's so interesting, both teams with 3 midfielders, so it's even in that regard, it's up to individual quality to win that battle.
Long ball forward looking for Haber. Brings it down to Hideyoshi on the left side. Diano covering well with the cross. Right shield. Now they hit it back to Dato.
You can just see when Montague get the ball that every time they're down the flanks, they have that option now that they don't necessarily have with Reichelt or Aldeguer, just to send in a cross, because Haber is going to fight for that cross.
And if you look into how Kaya is shaping up in defense, they have their assignments well taken here, because they're marking Haber whenever a long ball is being sent forward by one TAGUIG FC. So you know that they're watching this guy as well. They've watched his tapes, and they're trying to apply what they've learned during those sessions of watching him play. So Ott now moving forward. Good back heel from Komaki. Ott is possessed, but it's still Kaya with the ball. Komaki looking for Mirbach. Good flick on for Ott. Looking for the cross. Nobody there. Janjan Melisa fighting for it. Mirbach getting a touch. And Pete Porasuelo clears the danger for one TAGUIG.
Excellent link-up play between Mirbach and Ott. They've already combined for 3 goals. Nearly did it again there. They have some chemistry already going on, despite the fact that Mirbach is a new signing. We're talking about Haber being that direct target. So is Mirbach, but in a different light. You can flick passes off him. You can use him as a bounce board for runs to be made into. So we have 2 strikers here tonight that are the absolute point of attack for their team.
Well, we could say that the first quarter of this 90-minute matchup between Kaya FC, Iloilo, and one TAGUIG FC has been eventful, ladies and gentlemen. Chances coming in left to right. It really goes to show that this is a top-of-the-table clash. Yes, with a throw-in. Reichelt heads it to Haber, but Toyota is there. Reichelt brings it down and uses that right flank. Tackle by Malamansoko. Clears it out for a throw.
And Malamansoko is going to have his work cut out of him this evening, because you have, on one hand, to deal with the physical presence of Haber. Then you also have to deal with the movement of Reichelt. Definitely a very tough strike partnership to deal with for any defender. But Malamansoko, to be fair to him, also seems like a good signing for Kaya FC Iloilo. Formerly played in the 3rd division of Italy, which is also a very high level. And he's with Kaya now.
Shuto Komaki using the ball on the left side as Kaya enjoying much of the possession. 62-38. Ott to the middle for Melisa. Goes down. Foul is called at the dangerous spot against one TAGUIG.
Yeah, Stephen Halm, who was late to the challenge. He was a bit hesitant to step out because he knows that Melisa's type of player, you stick your foot out, he's clever enough to get his body in the way, and that's what it does there. And yeah, it's a free kick in a very, very good position for Kaya. A lot of options for them on how to take this one.
Kaya spoiled for choices in terms of the free kick specialist. They have worked things out in the training ground. You have Mike Ott, you have Julius Mirbach, you have Janjan Melisa as well, who could take a strike on goal from this free kick. Question is, who will take that shot? As Mirbach stands on top of it, but behind him is Mike Ott.
Yeah, all the tallest players for one taking on the wall. No risk being taken. You'd imagine that Kupic is going to instruct him to jump. No one lying down, surprisingly, which is the new trend we see in football. Massive chance for Kaya.
Kupic right now shaping up the wall and positioning himself well for this free kick. Bit of a delay as Malamansoka and Sato trying to jostle for possession inside the box. Here's the free kick. Ott takes it low, blocked by the wall, and nobody up front for one Taguig to make up for that counter.
Yeah, again, no one was lying down. I think Ott spotted that. And he tried to go under the wall, but such a small space to get the ball into. Might be regretting that, actually. And he might be thinking he should have just gone for goal in normal fashion. Nevertheless, one Taguig escaped that pressure.
Sometimes a curler could be a firecracker, but it's not the option taken by Mike Ott in that free kick, as nervy moments there for Audi Menzi, but he was able to get it to his goalkeeper.
You can just see that one Taguig are trying to force Menzi to get the ball. He is a right-footed defender at the left side, so he's a pressing point for Oli Bias. And yeah, you can see it's been evident quite a number of occasions. You usually try to target those players who are playing on their wrong side. Again, Menzi is right-footed, playing as the left back. So that is a good point of attack for Oli Bias.
Kupic looking for a man up front as he sends a long ball forward. Reichel trying to head it to the path of Haber, but to no avail. Oli Bias takes it back to Pete Forazuelo. You could see the composure here of one Taguig. If you can't find an open spot up front, look back. There's Milos Kupic to help you out. Mirbach against Forazuelo. Mike Ott brought down, and a foul again against one Taguig FC in number 71, Isaac Igema.
One Taguig bench disagreeing with that one. Looked for a moment like he got the ball, but again, the midfield battles are so feisty at the moment. No surprise that a lot of fouls are being committed.
Komaki, the recipient of that free kick, trying to chest it down, but Oli Bias is there. Now the clearance for Bias. Foul again on one Taguig. The bench of one Taguig FC feels like they're being hard done for by our referee here, Raymart de los Santos. But they have to play through it. Now they get the ball through the throw-in.
Such an interesting factor also in this match. You know, so many of these players have been teammates with each other, either for the national team or in other PFL clubs. So they know each other inside and out. And that could also be a difference maker when the margins are so fine in a game such as this.
Good look at Mirbach, who hasn't had any dangerous touches yet of the ball, but he will be hoping for that as Mike Ott takes it out for a goal kick.
You can just see how closely the Taguig defenders are watching Mirbach. Every time he's even involved, there is a center back pinned on him. That's how closely they need to watch him. I think they saw his performance against Maharlika and against Don Bosco and Tuloy, where he was running into space. So the solution was clearly not to give him any space, to try and limit him.
Well, they have reviewed the tapes well on Mirbach's last 3 games in the Philippines Football League, and they've seen how he operates. So they're trying to eliminate all those pockets of space for him as Reichel. Moving forward now, one Taguig with a deft touch. Oli Bias looks up, goes for the short route for Agemang, but it's been intercepted. Kaya now on the counter-attack. Mirbach challenged by Hum, and it's been taken away by one Taguig.
What a touch from Patrick Reichelt. He is listed as a striker for this match, but you can see he's been given permission just to drift out wide, try and challenge the fullbacks, and leave Haber in the middle so that he can eventually find him with a cross. And Reichelt only... I forgot what age he is, but he is definitely not feeling that age. What a player, and he's only getting better as his age increases.
It's a good thing to look into as well, the head-to-head between these two sides. Shuto Komaki looking to operate on the left. You have Menzi moving forward against Oli Bias using the size, but Hartman is there to cover for Taguig. Haber now against Malumanzoko. New signings for either side, jostling for the ball, and a foul is called against Malumanzoko.
Two absolute giants dueling for that. A physical battle between those two, and it's for sure also going to be like that for the rest of this match. You can see Haber, the strength he has to hold off a player like Malumanzoko and Shuto Komaki at the same time. He is that outlet whenever Taguig need to get up the pitch. They have that option now, just to go directly into a target man.
So back to the action we go with Steven and Taguig FC. These two sides have already met 4 times in the Philippines Football League. Kaya currently leads that head-to-head with 2 wins over Taguig FC. And also in their first meeting, they still have 4 of their players from that first meeting in 2024. Of course, that trivia is brought to us by our friends from the PFL Bible. Reichelt goes down. And play continues for Kaya FC Iloilo as they go for that counter. Mark Hartman still trying to find that space, but unable to do so, but they have themselves a throw in.
Just out of your screen there, the Taguig contingent in Rizal Memorial were so furious about that non-call on Reichelt. He's still talking to the linesman and the referee, asking for that explanation. But again, he's continuing to be a problem when he drifts out wide, like he is here.
Another chance for Reichelt to find his teammates, but unable to do so. As we've talked about Reichelt being the danger man on the right side. He thought he was fouled earlier. Of course, the bench of Taguig felt that as well. Our viewers would argue that case as well, but at the end of the day, the referees have the good look of the action on the pitch. Almost a mistake here. Daisuke Sato alert to that danger and clears the ball out. Finds Bias on the right side. And the counter-attack is still on for Taguig. Kiki looks up, sends the cross in. Haber chests it down. Nobody there to get that back heel pass. Komaki couldn't keep that in play as it is out for a throw.
Now it's Kaya's turn to contest that non-call. Apparently, to them, it was still in. But again, you can just see that whenever Taguig just get down the sides and the flanks, they have the tendency to go directly for Haber as a target. And he is making so many problems for Kaya's backline, not only by getting crosses, but he's also dragging defenders in his way. That leaves space for other players like Reichelt or Agiemang or Sooma to run into.
That's going to be a concern for Kaya. If they keep on focusing on Haber, somebody like Omaiso will try to make up for that space that he's opening up.
Yeah, Julius Mirbach also has the same amount of gravity, if you can even call it that, but just means that because of how finely poised this match is, it's up to any of the attackers or midfielders now to step up and grab the game by its throat. Kaya's midfield, in fact, actually the highest scoring in the whole PFL. They have 24 goals from their midfield, so could definitely do with one tonight.
Aerial battle for the ball here between Kaya and Taguig. Taguig emerges as the victor as Oli Bias free on the right side, looking for the cross. Dato steps, and it's a goal for Taguig, but nope. Yes, it is. Referee confirms it. And Taguig again on the first half, having that lead over Kaya.
Well, Patrick Dato is the last player you'd expect to make a mistake like that, but that all came from the fact that Oli Bias, the right wing back of Taguig, was afforded acres of space down that right-hand side. Shuto Komaki is late to track him, and Odi Menzi is tucked inside narrow because of his tendency as a center back. So that just gave so much room for Oli Bias. The cross should have been claimed by Dato. It wasn't, and Akiemang reacts the fastest out of everyone in that match. There we were. Haber attracting too much attention, and it's actually Akiemang who nips in.
Agiemang with the first goal of the match between Kaya FC, Iloilo, and Taguig. And what a way to score that. Patrick Dato will be asking himself why he committed that mistake. But again, you have to give credit where it's due. He did his best to gather that cross. It bounced off of his gloves. And you pointed out well that Haber attracted so much defense that Agiemang was given that spot in the middle, allowing him to poach for that goal.
And the thing about that as well is, you know, with all due respect to the other opponents, if a goalkeeper in the PFL makes that mistake against a favorable opponent, he probably doesn't get punished. But, you know, in a game against Taguig, if you're Kaya, even the smallest of mistakes will get punished. And there was your evidence of that.
And the timing of the score as well, Diego. Right on the halfway point of the first half. It's just 3 minutes away from the opening goal in the first round.
A little bit of deja vu. If I'm not mistaken, Isaac Agiemang is also Ghanaian. And that means that in the first round, there was also Akoto, a Ghanaian, who opened the scoring. So some moments of deja vu. It's up to Kaya now to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. They have a lot of work to do.
Plenty of storylines from the first round matchup coming alive here in the second round as Mark Hartman sends a long ball forward for Haber on the left side. Now with the cross, finding Bias, brings it to the middle. Hartman saved this time by Patrick Dato.
Yeah, a bit of confidence back now for Dato. But again, Taguig are just finding space now. Kaya just need to be a little bit careful not to afford too much space to their opponents. Again, you know, it's such a tough team to play against because they punish you for the smallest mistakes. I think that was a high foot from Agiemang.
So gonna be a free kick for Kaya FC Iloilo. Again, they will ask themselves what went wrong at the back. And they conceded that goal.
And the thing about that as well is when the score was still 0-0, you know, Kupic was forced into 2 really good saves. That's how tight the match is. Could have been a different scoreline altogether. But in the end, it's so far a repeat of that first round encounter. Still a lot of time though for Kaya to respond, and they also have, you know, the entire second half to adjust, but they need to be careful not to let it get any worse in this first half.
31 minutes into this game, Taguig FC doing a repeat of what they've done in the first round fixture as they lead 1-0 over the defending champions.
I think one avenue Kaya could do to get back into the game is to target, you know, here Aishi's playing as left back when Taguig don't have the ball. He is also naturally a winger, just like Oli Bias is. It means that there is a possibility there for the likes of Melisa or even Marciano from right back to try and exploit. However, the tactical game is being won for sure by Taguig at the moment.
Plenty of fans having a bit of a chat on our YouTube stream. Thank you so much for supporting the Philippines Football League. Of course, share this to your friends and family members. Catch the action on our YouTube channel. Diego, look at this stat out here. 6 shots apiece for both Kaya and Taguig. But so far, it's been Taguig FC making the most out of the attempts that they're getting. Hiraishi on the left side. Finding Agiemang in the middle. So, Brings it back to Steven and they will reset with Milos Kupic at the back. Mark Hartman in the middle of the field being given plenty of space to take a shot. And that was well met by Patrick Dato. But if you're Kaya FC Iloilo, that's a mistake, or that's the kind of space you don't want to allow Hartman.
The thing is about Hartman is he surprises you, but he shouldn't, because he's done this before. He scored from there before. And yeah, you mentioned it, Jamer. Any team should allow him that type of space because he will punish you. And in the end, they're actually bailed out by a really good save from Patrick Dato. There it is again, an example of the ball striking capabilities of Mark Hartman. Probably one of the best, if not the best ball striker in their entire league, whether it's shooting or set pieces. Here he is again to take a set piece.
The thing is, Mark has this rocket between his legs, and he's been a free kick specialist for the teams he played for, as Malo Mansoko clears the ball out. And he's had those kind of goals as well in his career here in the Philippines Football League. Hartman right now on the left, opting for that long ball forward, but nobody up front as Haber's being covered again by Odimenzi. However, it is going to be a corner for TAGUIG.
Last 5 minutes or so, I could just feel that control is being put on by TAGUIG. You can just see the difference in how they build up. The distances between the TAGUIG midfield are shorter, so passes don't need to be as lofted and slow. They're able to build up faster. And also see a difference. I can see a lot of frustration from Julius Mirbach at the moment. He feels isolated. It's up to Kaya to get more players around him.
So here's the corner now from Hartman. Haber with the first real header for the goal, but it was out. Or rather, it was going to be an offside call for TAGUIG.
Again, set pieces are such a good avenue for TAGUIG. Even without the presence of Frank Akoto, they have the targets like Yemang, Haber, Stephen Halm, Daisuke Sato, Forzuelo, who are all good in the air. And then you add the delivery of Mark Hartman to that. Would imagine that more set pieces will continue to be threatening for TAGUIG.
Question for you right now, Diego, is are you surprised that we're talking more about Haber in the attack compared to Mirbach for Kaya?
A little bit, for sure, because Haber and Mirbach, I expected them to have even contributions. However, you know, a sign of a good striker is, you know, they don't need to be involved in the game at all. You look at, for example, Erling Haaland in England. You know, he gets so little touches in a match, but those touches, he will score one or two of them. That's how efficient he is. So Mirbach, he doesn't need to be super involved because, you know, he has to keep that faith that some point in this match, a big chance will land this way. And if one chance does land this way, all he needs to do is take that chance. Doesn't matter how many touches he's had in the game.
Things are going to be interesting, not only for this game, but also for our viewers, because you have some sort of a trivia, but we're going to talk about that later on as Milos Kupic embracing that ball.
Kupic winning the Golden Glove race, has an 88.9% ratio for clean sheets. That's the highest across the whole league. And yeah, he's winning that Golden Glove race. I'm sure Dato on the other side wants to get his name in that as well. But at the moment, best defense statistically is TAGUIG. And that's even, you know, with young defenders like Stephen Hum in their team, Olivias, if you could still consider him young. But also with the guidance of players like Sato and Hartman in front of them. Nice blend of experience and youth.
You've mentioned Erling Haaland from Man City earlier on. Our fans in the live stream thought that TAGUIG is the Man City of the Philippines Football League with the quality of players that they have. It's kind of like a super team that you have with TAGUIG, with former national team members and some players who still can play for the national team is composing this squad of TAGUIG. Also at the back, right shout. Holding on to side of his back.
I don't think he landed well from that duel. Still down, actually. That time he was on the left side, so you can see that Coach Soliman has given Reichelt that freedom just to roam wherever he likes, because he does have that anchor now to play around, which is Haber. In previous matches, Reichelt was that target man, but you know, looking at the difference in height, you know, the obvious target man is Haber.
You'd love to have Haber in the middle of that penalty box with his size, and so far they're making good use of that, using him as more of a dummy, because that's how they got the first goal. Haber attracted so much attention that Agyemang was able to be the poacher, leading to that first goal. But we are 7 minutes away from halftime, and Kaya still asking themselves what they need to do to break through this one Taguig defense.
Yeah, the midfield is so congested that you can even see Mike just dropping so deep just to pick up the ball and get involved. That's how deep and congested and compact one Taguig have been. Also saw Diano there inverting from right back because there was no option. Really a mistake there, but yeah, good shape from one Taguig. They're so compact at the moment.
Let's looking for that header. Kupic is there again to cover for one Taguig.
It's a big night for Pete Forzuelo. Started the season, then got a red card against Cebu, so he exited the starting 11 usually from that point. This is a chance for him to play himself back into that starting 11 with the absence of Frank Akoto.
Agyemang brought down by by Esso rather. Now Kaya looking to make something out of this possession, but Oli Bias had other plans as he gets the ball away.
Yeah, there's another example. You know, the passing options for Kaya's midfield are not as evident as one Taguig's. So they're being forced into playing these passes that you wouldn't normally see them try to make, because they're not that, you know, high percentage passes. They're risky passes. And that's why at the moment, you know, they can't really find any stable possession in the middle part of the field.
Kaya with the ball right now. They've had plenty of possession in this game. They've had more of the possession compared to one Taguig, but they haven't made up for it real well, as one Taguig again with the ball from Reichelt. Omaki wins the ball, and now Mirbach. Oli Bias, even with that size disadvantage, winning the ball against Mirbach.
Great reaction to losing the ball from Oli Bias. And that's been the intensity that they've brought tonight.
Malumansoko. Almost a nervy moment there for Kaya, but they were able to clear it out. Mike Ott on the right side now, looking to operate with Diano, but opts to go back to Toyoda.
Again, Kaya just need to speed up the tempo of their play, because when Taguig settle into the shape, very hard to play through. You know, a player like, for example, Janjan Miliz has not been involved this evening. That's how tight the defensive work has been for one Taguig. You can just see also that the middle part of the pitch, you look at Mark Hartman, he has to guard no one at the moment.
Look at how one Taguig slides from left to right whenever Kaya is trying to find that opening. But right now they're trying to operate on that right side, but unable to connect between Diano and Mike Ott.
And that's just going to give a chance for Milos Kupic with some veteran moves. Just running out the seconds. Drinking some water. A little bit of dark arts. Referee has spotted it. But again, you know, they have the privilege to do that now because they are ahead. They are managing the game, albeit a little bit dangerous because the referee is having a stern word now. But yeah, they have the capability now to really control this match from the driver's seat.
Milos could take all the time he needs between the sticks, but he knows that it's going to be added on to the stoppage time when we go towards the end of the first half. But now, counterattack for one Taguig. Maluman Soko covering right shield, goes down. Foul called against Kiki.
Do wonder how big of a miss it is as well that, Kaishu Yamazaki is not involved from the start. He's on the bench. That's due to injury. For those of you who are wondering, he is a big miss, I must say, in that midfield battle. You look at the likes of Akiema, who scored. Do wonder if Yamazaki was on the pitch, if he would have allowed that, or if he would have tracked his man.
Yamazaki also sometimes slides back in defense if the size is not on their side. Could be the one covering for Haber. Nonetheless, but now counter-attack time for TAGUIG. Good pass towards the middle. Back to Olibias. Cross looking for Haber on the far post. But it's been cleared away by Diana, only as far as Hiraishi. Now Toyoda trying to head that as far as he can. Omai looking for the cross for Haber. That goes out again for a goal kick.
The duo of Reichelt and Haber is so interesting because they can just take attention away from each other. What I mean by that is when one makes a run, two defenders follow, and that means one of them is free. Another mistake again by Kaya. They're not helping themselves, I must say, despite how well TAGUIG have played.
It's been precision passing for TAGUIG. Quite different for Kaya FC Iloilo in the first half. As Hiraishi looking for that opening. Omai saw with the cross, looking for Reichelt on the far post. But Orimenzi is there. Steady vice captain of Kaya FC Iloilo.
I can hear Coach Yoshide of Kaya. He's just telling them to speed things up. Because if you're going to play at a slow pace, you're going to just allow TAGUIG to settle into their deep block, which they are not afraid of doing. They're well coached. They know how to defend a match. They did it in the reverse fixture. And they're not going to be afraid to do it again. I must say, though, that, I do imagine at some point Kaya will rank things up. And let's see what will happen there.
Janjan Meliza on the right side as we are into stoppage time with 2 minutes added on to the first half. Daisuke Sato loving the action so far, but still asking so much from his teammates.
Again, not much involvement from the players of Kaya that you want to be super involved. Ott is having to drop ever so deep or wide just to get the ball. Meliza's not been that involved. He's been tracked very closely by Sato and Hiraishi. Komaki's being forced back by Olibias. I must say the tactical plan of TAGUIG is working, but TAGUIG also need to acknowledge that Kaya are a team that when they can step it up, they are a hard team to play against. So this match, it's only a 1-0 scoreline, still completely open, still one more half of free-flowing football, hopefully. So nothing about this match is conclusive just yet.
Well, Kaya has been in the position that they're in right now in the past. They've been through many games that they've coming from a goal deficit or coming from or behind their opponents. Let's see if it's something that they can do against TAGUIG as we have less than a minute remaining in the first half. Ball goes out of play and Data will look up for the goal kick. Diano finding Meliza, who goes down. Foul against Sato. Could be the last roll of the dice for Kaya here in the first half.
Again, look at where a player like Komaki is having to receive the ball. You don't want him necessarily this deep. You want him on the last line. And that's been the story of the first half.
Well, a spillage from Patrick Dato tells the story of the first half as Kaya FC Iloilo trailing by a 1-0 thanks to a poacher's goal from Isaac Aguiemang. We have plenty of conversation to have in the halftime, but before we go to the break, we have a trivia from our friends from the PFL Bible. Among the players of KFC Iloilo and One Taguig, who has the most goals this season? You have Mike Ott, Janjan Meliza, Patrick Reichel, or Goldson. The answer when we come back after the half. Uzbekistan. Halftime here at the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium, and Agiemang is the only difference between Kaya FC Iloilo, who now trails a goal against one Taguig FC. Diego, your thoughts on the first half action we had?
Very closely contested. You know, both goalkeepers and defenses tested with efforts, but the one that has been clinical is that one effort by Agiemang for one Taguig, and that's been the only difference, because other than that, it's been a really closely contested match. Again, both goalkeepers already called into action multiple times, and you'd imagine also that this scoreline is nothing near final.
If it wasn't for Milos Kupic between the goal, the scoreline might have been different for Kaya FC Iloilo, but so far, so good for the number 2 side in the Philippines Football League. We've had plenty of attacks from Kaya FC Iloilo, but none of them really making it into the back of the net. And so far, that mistake from Patrick Dato was the only difference. You could see that he wanted to scoop that ball, but misjudging that cross allowed Agiemang to poach right on the spot for one Taguig.
Yeah, and one Taguig also caused so many problems for Kaya in terms of their attacking play, because the new addition of Hebra, along with the movement of Reichelt, Agiemang, Bias, they've been so dynamic, and it's been hard to defend for Kaya FC Iloilo. I'm not going to be surprised if Kaya opt to make any changes going into the second half, because there's still 45 minutes left for them to get back into this game. They do have the quality to do it, so I wouldn't be surprised if right at halftime there is a change being made.
The top of the table clash is living up to its expectations. As we look into the stats out here, Diego, 6 shots on the side of Kaya, 8 for one Taguig. Both of them missing 2 shots on goal, but so far, one Taguig FC with that marginal 2 shots more on target, and of course, that lone goal in the first half coming from Agiemang.
Yeah, those stats really show, you know, how close this match has been. Again, you'd imagine that there will be more big chances for both teams in the second half. It's going to be a matter of who is going to be the more clinical out of the two. If the second half goes any way the first went, it's going to be a really entertaining affair.
The game hasn't been short of any physical duels as well, as we've had 5 fouls on the side of Kaya, 8 on the side of one Taguig. So it's been nervy, it's been testy, and it's very physical between these two sides. But now the question is, can Kaya FC Iloilo make up for their mistake in the first half, or will one Taguig FC pounce on the second half for them? Before we go to the kickoff for the second half, we left you with the trivia, courtesy of our friends from the PFL Bible, asking you guys, among the players here in this game between Kaya FC Iloilo and one Taguig, who has the most goals scored in the season? If you've answered Mike Ott, you could give yourselves a round of applause, as that is the correct answer. Has already had 11 goals so far this season. You have Kiki Reichelt, close second with 10 goals to himself. Then you have Janjan Meliza and Julius Mirbach with 7 goals each. Then you also have Goldson with 7 and Hiraishi with 6. And of course, we really love to thank all of our fans of the live stream for joining that halftime trivia, and we have had as much as 642 viewers on the live stream in this top of the table clash. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this game, as we are now in the second half of the match between Kaya FC Iloilo and one Taguig FC.
And there it is. A change has been made at halftime. Kaishu Yamazaki will be on. And yeah, we were talking about it. They might have missed his presence in the first half. He is there for the second half. You imagine that he will add a lot more solidity and physicality and power to that Kaya midfield. So it's going to be a different problem to deal with now for the midfield of Hartman and Sooma and Agiemang.
So while Shuto Komaki is getting back up to his feet, a couple of substitutions for Kaya. We had Marco Casambre and Kaishu Yamazaki coming in at the half, replacing Tayo Toyoda and Marvin Angeles. So you could feel like they're putting in Kaishu right at the middle of the park for them, as a Melo looking to make up for that size disadvantage in Toyoda earlier on the matchup with Haber. Odimenzi heads the ball away. Sato looking to move it forward, but nobody up front for TAGUIG. Salman, shoutouts on the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, as well as for all of the fans of the PFL watching this game between the leagues number 1 and number 2. So far, the number 2 has been the better of the two sides in terms of scoring. Malaman Soko heading that ball out. Near back, dropping back into midfield now, looking to influence the game a bit from that spot. Solid tackle that is, and it's a yellow card for Eric Esso. A challenge on Isaac Agiemang.
Yeah, that pass was just fizzed into Isaac Agiemang, but you know, don't let his height fool you. He is a very technically gifted player. You saw it there in his first touch. And the second touch, also just as smart to win the foul. Again, not ideal because you have a player like Mark Hartman who's about to send this one in.
Hartman, of course, a free kick specialist from any distance. He could either give a ball to one of his teammates, but if it's close range, expect him to take a shot on goal. Bigyan daw tayo ni Salman ng ticket for the games tomorrow. I think he's referring to the UAP football final here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium between the Far Eastern University and the University of the Philippines. Football is well and truly alive here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Oh, Haber getting closer and closer to that deadly header of his. Just a bit away from that free kick.
Again, so many goals scored in his career from that type of scenario, crashing the box with his height and physicality. If he is to play a part in a TAGUIG title chase, you would imagine that he will be very useful, especially in these games where, you know, the game is so tight that you just do with an outlet like him.
So Patrick Data right now might have shaken that thought of the mistake that he made in the first half, looking to steady himself as well throughout the rest of the game. Yano adjusting it back. A foul committed by Daisuke Sato. You've just joined our broadcast for the day. It's been a goal fest so far here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Yoshide on the screens earlier, looking to make amends of what happened in the first half. Kopic gathers the ball. I mentioned Goal Fest, not only here in RMS, we also had a game in Cebu, who won 10-0 against Tuloy, and then Maharlika winning 4-2 against Valenzuela PB Mendiola in the earlier fixture here in Manila. And so far, 1-0 in favor of TAGUIG FC in this battle for the top spot. Komaki on the left side. Good challenge put in by Forasuelo, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, you'd imagine if Kaya are to get back into this game, they need to get Komaki more involved. He is the type of player who's able to create something from out of nothing, and he has a set piece here.
So here's the delivery from Shuto Komaki. Looking to dab smack that ball into the middle of the box, but unable to do so. Mirbach trying to go for that ball. Might have taken a knock behind. The play continues, or rather, goes out for a throw.
Just wondering what happened here, because there were a lot of protests from Kaya. I think it's Hartman involved with Haber.
I think there was a missed kick from Hartman that hit the side of the thighs for Mirbach, who hasn't been instrumental yet in this game for Kaya. Casambre now with Malumansoko looking for Esso. Pressure here coming from one Taguig. It feels like they're applying some sort of a gegenpress, if you may.
Yeah, and the intensity has been there from one Taguig, not allowing Kaya players to have space in dangerous areas, forcing them back, and they're happy to allow Kaya to have possession in that area where it's not so dangerous. So far, their defense has been really good.
Look at how Pete Forasuelo is just hounding over Julius Mirbach on that left side. He knows his assignment too well not to allow Mirbach some space. Menzi with a cross. Diano just unable to pull the trigger from close range.
It's actually a good chance for Diano, the right back, made the late run. I think more than anything, he was surprised that the ball actually reached him, because it did reach him. I think he was expecting a touch from Melisa. Half chance, if you will, for Kaya.
Kopich with the goal kick, sending it forward. Yamazaki is there to meet the ball first time. Sato heads it away. Now Stephen Hom clears it. Haber, deft touch as well for the Canadian. Foul called against Kaya.
Yeah, one Taguig not afraid just to play a little bit more direct now. They have that outlet in Haber and Reichelt. And again, they are 1-0 up, so they have the privilege of being able to make the game a little bit more stop-start.
Mansoko clears for Kaya, freeing up Shuto Komaki on the left side. But Bias is too fast to recover. Komaki trying to dance with Oli. Now finding Diano on the right side. Diano with a long ball forward, looking for Mirbach or Melisa inside the box, but unable to do so. Agiemang for touch goes back to Kaya with Mike Ott. Now they reset with Diano. With pass to the middle for Yamazaki. Finding Ott. Short. Ooh. For the cross. Player goes down. Kaya pleading their case for a penalty. But they get themselves a corner. Even the assistant coach and former Kaya FC player out here.
Well, I'd love to see this back again, because Hartman doesn't realize there's a player over, and I think that he is a bit lucky there. However, to be fair, Melisa didn't protest that much. He's going over to take this corner.
For a moment, it felt like Coach Alfred Ose wants to get into the action as well. A part of the coaching staff of Kaya FC Iloilo. So corner now for Kaya after coach or referee Raymar de los Santos clears up the commotion inside the box. Everyone's set for this Janjan Melisa corner. Yamazaki with a header, but it goes out for a goal kick.
Tight angle for Yamazaki, but I guess if you're Kaya, you'll be happy with the last 3 minutes or so. Beginning to penetrate the opposition half more in this portion of the match, but again, still yet to really put in any goal-scoring opportunity in terms of having an actual dangerous shot on target in the last few minutes. Still have time in the second half, but they better do it sooner rather than later.
Aerial battle between these two sides as Omai and Ott got entangled. Foul called against one Taguig. So try to play it quick, but unable to do so. Rolling ball ang sabi ni referee Raymar de los Santos. There we go with Kaya with a free kick. Malmanzoko to Diano on the right. Pass to the middle for Ott. Esso try to leave it Now Sato gives it to Omaiso. Former teammates in the Aguilas UMAC FC, now with one Taguig FC. It's been paying dividends for them so far. Agiemang using the size, sliding effort from Yamazaki, and a foul against Yamazaki. The card came out there, no?
I think it was a talking to from the referee, but look at this from Agiemang. He picks up the ball in a tight situation. He's able to dribble out of it 3-on-1 for a moment, and he still wins the foul. What a player Agiemang is. And at the moment, he's the match winner, but he's contributing so much more than that as well. In their build-up play, he knows how to keep the play ticking. And he's a very technically assured player, like you saw there when he wriggled away from that scenario.
And you have to give props to Coach Arvin Soliman for putting in Agiemang in this tightly contested battle in the place of the missing Frank Makoto. Shot from distance, though, from Hiraishi. That goes over the bar, now for a goal kick.
Yeah, he hit it well, but unfortunately just got a little bit under it. So Dato doesn't need to make the save. That's a few times though now that Taguig have tried a shot from range and it's not been too far. They have the players who are capable of striking some real rockets. We'll be surprised if they try more of those for the rest of this match.
Sambre combining on the left side out here with Yamazaki, who you could feel playing positionless football right now. Omaki moving forward down the left side. Menzi couldn't keep it in, and it's out for a throw.
Again, there, I'm not sure if you really want Komaki that deep and Menzi as the player who's trying to challenge the fullback. Maybe you want it the other way around. I still think there's more to Komaki in this match that we haven't seen. It's up to Kaya's coaching staff now to unlock that part of him.
Right, Schild. Sliding down to midfield. Oli Bias moving forward as well. That's one of the other things that are working well for Coach Arvin J. Soliman, that Oli Bias on the right side being that wing back for them. He knows he's quick and he can move up in attack and also drop back in defense when he's needed.
Yeah, he's not afraid to work hard and do the dirty work. He's been doing it for a lot of this match. And it's a position change that has worked out for him so far in this PFL.
Sometimes you just love getting into the coach's head on how they shuffle their players out here. You have Rachel moving from right side to the left side. Haber doing the other thing as well. Kaya, on the other hand, trying to make the most out of the possession, but unable to do so. Sliding effort from Audi is a bit late, and a foul is called on him.
Yeah, good footwork from Hartman. Challenge was late from Menzi, two former teammates in the national team. Actually, if you think about it, there are so many former teammates in the national team. So this match is a little bit of a throwback.
Dato used to play with Kiki and Sato, also with Hartman. So plenty of PMNT figures in this game, and that's the thing that you want in your local league, your national team players applying their trades in the local league. It's kind of like a pipeline for those players ambitioning to make it to the national team, and for those players who are growing old, if we may say, could apply their trades in the Philippines Football League. I mean, we're no strangers to players who have advanced in their age and still plays in the Philippines Football League.
Great to see that those players are still involved in Philippine football and are still playing well at the same time.
Past the hour mark we are, and Things have slowed down a bit for both sides, but Kaya looking to pick up the pace here with Maluman Soko from the back. Yamazaki. Oof, that's a dangerous pass if Kiki's lurking. And they're able to usher that danger out. Yamazaki moving forward. Now they go back to Eso, who sends a long ball forward to the right for Diano. Diano looking to the middle. Good dummy run there from Melisa. But Mirbach unable to unlock himself from the defense.
Great work from Stephen Halm. He's so tightly glued to Mirbach that Mirbach is unable really to do anything in the space that he has, because he doesn't have any space at all. That's how closely he's being followed by the center backs of TAGUIG.
Venezuela almost caught for the handball there, but was able to get it on the right spot. Hartman looking for the long ball. Casambre is there. Odi thought about heading it first time, and now Casambre takes it all the way back to Dato. The pressure from TAGUIG is kind of suffocating IFC Iloilo right now. They're just filling in those gaps where they want to go.
Yeah, and if you look at Kaya's setup at the moment, there's no free player, there's no spare man. That's why they're having such a hard time trying to find any attacking opportunities.
Omaki finding Mirbach. Good tackle there from Amaiso. And now he frees up Kiki on the right side. He stops and resets for TAGUIG. Good weather we're having here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Bit of a fresh air as well. That cool breeze easing off the tension that we have here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
Lovely weather for football. We'll appreciate it while it's still here, because come March, come May, might be scorching here dito sa Rizal Memorial.
You see, the weather itself is playing well for the teams. They're not being forced to mandatory cooling breaks, because come March, April, or the summer times here in the Philippines, you'd see a couple of mandatory cooling breaks in a 15-minute interval sometimes. Hasn't been that nervy compared to the first half. Things have slowed down a bit for both sides here as we enter the 65th minute of this game.
Yeah, exactly right, Jamer. TAGUIG though might be happy with that, or they won't mind it, because if the game slows down, it at least means that, you know, it's stop-start and Kaya aren't having any momentum built. For Kaya naman, it's up to them really just to change things up. You know, TAGUIG have set up their game plan well. It's worked out for them, so I imagine that Coach Yoshida is thinking about making some tweaks here and there at the moment. Does have subs warming up. Would not be surprised if any of them are used.
Bit of commotion here as Agueman goes down. Deano being the culprit of it. He didn't like that. See, this is the thing that makes us feel alive. The tension. And I think a yellow card has been brandished on Deano. A bit of a push there from the defender.
Clearly not agreeing with that call, but I think that's just the embodiment really of the frustration that Deano has at the moment. I think he's frustrated that game plan for Kaya hasn't really worked out. And yeah, time is slowly running out now for Kaya.
You look into the bench of both sides. One thing that you would notice, Stefan Schrock is warming up for TAGUIG FC. And if you're Kaya, you could feel a little bit of a tremble on your knee seeing Stefan Schrock warm up, because he might have aged, yes, but he still has it. Kiki now on the turn. Brings it back to Sato. Long ball forward. Iraishi goes down. Deano Feels like Hiraishi trying to fish another card there for Diano. But to no avail.
Yeah, don't be surprised, however, if for the last 30 minutes of this match, Diano's going to be targeted by all the Taguig players because of the fact that he is on a yellow. You know, one more foul and Diano could be in some real trouble. He's up against Hiraishi, who's a tricky player to defend. So I'm sure that's going to be some of the instructions from Coach Soliman, who's actually readying a substitution, it looks like.
It's going to be a youthful one from my eyes out here, Diego. But let's see what Coach Arvin has in mind as Kaya slowly moving forward and trying to find that sweet spot for the counter. Yamazaki brings it to Menzi. Looking for Mir back in the middle, freeing up Odd, but Sato is there to cover.
Sato, great defensive awareness there. Knows how to read attacks like a book. It's no wonder that a figure like that is a captain of a team. You can see him now, he's just barking at his team. That's the type of leadership figure he is. And there you have it, Jamer, who we were talking about just a few moments ago. He's gonna come on.
Sabi ng mga fans natin sa live stream, ang John Cena ng PFL, Stefan Schrock. We're not yet sure if the last time is now, though. Menzi with a chance in the middle. Gives it back to Esso, curling it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Menzi and Esso, probably the last two players you want that chance to fall to. You want that type of moment to fall to your attackers, not your defensive midfielder and defender. But again, I still struggle to remember in the second half if they've created any big and goal-scoring opportunity.
Couple of like-for-like substitutions here for one Taguig. Diego, you have Aldeguer coming in for Kiki. And you have Stefan Schrock coming in for Hiraishi.
And number 29, Patrick Rocha, is replaced by number 9, Andres Aldeguer.
Not too sure Reichelt agrees too much with the substitution. But fresh legs nonetheless for one Taguig, so it's going to be interesting to see how Aldeguer plays off of Marcus Haber. And obviously everyone knows about Stefan Schrock.
If we have these fans in the live stream up here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, Stefan Schrock could have gotten a standing ovation for his introduction at here in the second half. As plenty of people still wanting to see what Stefan Schrock has in his legs, as Mirback has been called for offside. Yeah, you could actually see Kiki Reichelt having a bit of a talking to the coaching staff earlier when he was coming off. He felt like there's something more that he can contribute into this game and possibly lead them to a 2-goal margin against Kaya.
Yeah, no doubt though that the subs brought on have a lot of quality. I'm 100% sure also that when Stefan Schrock was introduced, one of his objectives is to get a second yellow for Mardiano with his tricky footwork.
Kind of the instigator that he is. Stefan Schrock. In the meantime, Hardman clearing the ball out of danger. Maluman Toko sending the ball forward for Diano, who heads it down for Melisa. Diano trying to free up Melisa on the right, but Kuya Daisuke is there and he does cover it well.
Yeah, captain to captain, but at the moment Sato is winning that captain duel.
There goes down for Kaya. I think that's Yamazaki. They're asking for a foul here on Agiemang. He gets a yellow card. That is his second yellow card in the game. That gives him a red. Things may just change drastically here in this game with one Taguig now going down to 10 men.
You know, I was about to say that he's probably the contender for man of the match there you have it. He's been sent off. So what this means is, you know, for the rest of this match, I imagine 80 to 90% of possession is going to be with Kaya. Man advantage. And it's a pretty obvious one also. I don't think he protested too much, actually. There was a guilty look about him, and in fact, there's no Taguig player really protesting that call. Kaya, you know, there's still a goal behind, but, you know, up to them now really to take advantage of this numerical superiority.
Man advantage means plenty of room for Kaya to operate now that Agyemang is no longer in this game. Odd, Yamazaki, Diano, pass to Odd, former teammates in Odd and Shraki battling for the ball, and even Santos joining the party. Aldeguer is possessed. Now here's Melisa, brings it down to Odd, with pressure being put on by Omaeso. And that's offside for Odd. Bit of a shove from Odd here on Omaeso.
Intensity of this match sky high at the moment. A little bit of afters from the two over there, but again, you know, I think one thing he won't mind if there's some emotional part of this match, because they're still ahead. It's gonna put Kaya out of focus, really. Kaya, it's up to them to regain that focus. Again, they have a man advantage, such a big advantage.
Mathematically speaking, if one Taguig wins all of their remaining games and level the numbers or number of matches played with Kaya, they might be up 6 points, I think, over Kaya.
That's a massive advantage to have in this title race.
Sato finds Shrock, goes down. Foul on Kaya FC Iloilo's team captain in Janjan Melisa.
I don't think Kaya need to be committing so many fouls. Again, if you just let the game flow, you know, you will be able to use your numerical advantage. And I think if you're Kaya, as much as possible, you want the ball to be in open play, because one thing, you're gonna have to be forced to make more defensive efforts now that they're down a man. It was a foul, but I don't think it's anything more than that, really. And it allows Taguig to slow the game down even more, which they won't mind. Again, for the next 15 minutes, they're gonna have to dig in deep because so much distance is made up by one player. Need to make up even more now that you're down to 10.
Even assistant coach Darren Hartman was out of his seat there from the bench, complaining for that foul. Ano mo itong mga fans natin sa live stream? Elderly abuse. Grabe naman kayo kay Shraki.
Shout out to the chat, 800 viewers at the moment.
Thought we peaked at 640, but we're still going up in the numbers. We're now at 800 plus in the live stream. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let me grab the opportunity as well to give a shout out to my lovely wife and daughter watching at home. Pumayag magpaiwan dahil magtatrabaho daw si Daddy. Kasambre now for Kaya FC Iloilo with 15 minutes to salvage a point here against one Taguig. Diano on the right side. Good coverage by Sato. Trying to keep it in play, but it's out for a goal kick.
You just seen that Coach Yoshida has called Lucas Del Rosario back to the dugout. So it looks like he'll be their next sub. Probably the type of player you want in this type of scenario when a team is defending so deep and there's not much space. You want a player who's technically gifted and useful in breaking down low blocks. Lucas Del Rosario probably slot into that number 10 position. He's useful in tight spaces. He has around 15 minutes or less plus stoppage time to make an impact on this match.
Kopic right now sending a ball forward and out for a throw in. Christopher Datu also tuning into this game. A lot of fans watching this game between the top two teams in the league. Diano, good coverage by Sato, and it's out for a throw in. Ramdam mo yung gigil ni Sato.
You could see he knew right when that ball was kicked that it was going to be a Taguig ball. But that's been, you know, the summary of Sato's game all night. So defensively solid at left center back in a back three, or as a left back in a back four. Doesn't matter, because he is such a difficult defender to beat. That's despite his modest height as well, because he makes up for that in different ways. One of those being his intensity and leadership.
There it is. You called it, Diego. Or Vincent Diano is checking out for Lucas Del Rosario. So a bit of an attacking-minded substitution here for Kaya.
Yeah, Martiano as well on a yellow card. You have a numerical advantage, 11 versus 10. Last thing you would want is to play this match 10 versus 10. So you take off a player on a yellow card. I'm curious though, who's gonna make up the back four now of Kaya, because as far as I see, they only have 3 defensive-minded players on the pitch. I do wonder if Yamazaki is gonna drop back, or if there's gonna be another type of shift.
Could be Yamazaki dropping back, or they might be replicating how Taguig started this game off with a 3-5-2. You'll never know with Coach Yu Hoshide. One thing we know, though, is that his intention is to get these boys, get a goal here and level things up and make it more interesting. Deguer. Shirt tug from Kaya. Free kick for Taguig.
Actually, Jamer, you may have called it perfectly, because it looks like Kaya are going to have 3 center backs, Menzi, Malamansoko, and Casambre, and then you have a midfield 4 in front of him, and then a bunch of attackers.
Here's Mirbach now being freed off by Del Rosario. Solid tackle there from Ham, and it gets a yellow card on Mirbach.
Would love to see the foul count on this match. It's been a lot of fouls in this second half. Again, already had a second yellow. So there's a player with a red card from Taguig. The goal scorer, Akiemang. And yeah, there's another yellow card.
Bodies dropping like flies out here. There is Memorial Stadium. And things are getting interesting as we are getting into the final 10 minutes of this top of the league clash.
Yeah, and if you're Taguig also, I'm not sure if it's that smart to be conceding set pieces, because you lost a player in Akiemang, who's one of your taller players in defending these types of scenarios. So they're going to be a man less.
Melisa with a delivery straight to the gloves of the diving Milos Kupic.
Milos Kupic has been so good tonight, so assured of himself. And I can tell you, he really wants that clean sheet. It would mean so much to that Taguig team.
A clean sheet in their first round fixture for Kupic and Taguig, looking to replicate that in this game and take away those precious points from the defending champions, as we are now inside the final 10 minutes of this game.
And again, because of the way the league is formatted, results are going to carry over to the third round. It means that, you know, if Taguig are able to beat Kaya twice, that's going to carry over that 6-point advantage that they get over a direct rival.
We're asking for the foul counts here.
There you have it.
11 to 10. Really physical battle between Kaya and Taguig. So far, Taguig is enjoying this 1-0 advantage. Stefan Schrock looking to dance away from 3 players, and he will. Nobody up front as Schrock goes down. Referee Raymar De Los Santos says, get up. Yamazaki. Now here's Ott. Janjan is stopping. Feeling something in his legs. They have to move forward. Odimenzi. Lucas Del Rosario, the substitute. Eso. Now Malamansoko at the back. One Taguig. Doesn't feel like they're parking the bus right now. But Kaya's just not able to exploit the pockets in the defense of One Taguig as Mark Hardman wins a free kick.
Another foul. So that foul count is going to increase even more. But so smart there from Mark Hartman just to lure the foul from Ott. And two former teammates who know each other. And Hartman, haven't said that much about him in the second half, but it's been such an integral part to One Taguig's season so far.
If I'm not mistaken out here, Diego, Mirbach is just a couple of mistakes away from being subbed off because he hasn't been instrumental in this game. It's been 82 minutes that we've been looking for him, and so far he's been pocketed by Steven and Pete Forosuelo. Shuto Komaki looking for that counter-attack. They thread the ball to the middle for Eric Esso, looking for support. Odi Menzi. Now Esso finding Ott. Ott with a shot. That goes out for a goal kick. Before the corner for Kaya, we're going to have a substitution as Jovin Bedic is checking in for the team captain, Jan Melisa.
Yeah, and I think the armband will be passed from Melisa to Bedic, but that's going to be a front two now for Kaya. So you have Mirbach and Bedic up front.
There's the corner. Almost getting into action as he's stepping into the pitch, but Kupic with a punch. The foul as well for Kaya.
Another solid example of goalkeeping there from Milos Kupic. Such a good goalkeeper. Might have hurt himself actually.
Also another substitution here. You have Marcus Haber, who has done half of his job for tonight, attracting the defense and opening the spaces up for his teammates. He will be subbed off for Goldson, who's one of the 4 players in the active roster of One Taguig who has been part of that squad that faced Kaya back in 2024.
Such impressive depth from One Taguig to be able to bring on a player like, Goldison, who's been such a good player for them actually this season. In general, the squad depth of One Taguig so impressive. So I checked before this match, they actually have 16 different goal scorers across their entire squad. So it's a good thing to have as a team that you're not relying on 1 or 2 sources for your goals. You're relying on a lot of goal scorers in your team, and that's why they're a bit hard to play against, because if you mark one person out of the game, there's still another person there to take advantage of that.
That's even more than the starting lineups, Diego. 16 players. That's a lineup and a half, if you may say, for One Taguig. The Canadian international coming off to the applause of the Rizal Memorial Stadium as the job is almost done for One Taguig. 5 minutes remaining in this game. Goldson right away getting a touch of the ball. Throw in favor of One Taguig. Omai saw Goldson to Schrock against Yamazaki. Putting on the dancing shoes is Stefan Schrock, and he gets the ball. Looking for the cross. Odi Menzi is there to cover. Only as far as Hartman, though. Yes, to Hartman. Hartman dancing his way forward as well. Feels like Hartman and Schrock didn't brought their boots, but their dancing shoes instead. Goldson approaching the ball. Scramble inside the box. Foul against Juan Taguig. At a dangerous moment where Olivias almost came close to scoring.
If you're Juan Taguig, though, that's exactly what you want. You want the rest of this match to be played in that corner of the field. Might be a bit early for the constant corner flag, but you know, time is running out now for Kaya. And I think if you're Kaya, you'll be frustrated at the fact that, you know, Agiemang went off at the 70th minute and it hasn't felt obvious. They haven't made it obvious that it's 10 versus 11 at the moment.
Kaya still figuring out how to use that numerical advantage. Shutokomaki trying to dance against 3 players, but the players in white able to usher that danger out. Now, trying to move forward with Goldson, but it's out for a throw-in. What's more interesting here, Jego, Kaya, coming from a 5-game winning streak, is on the verge of losing this game against Juan Taguig. It's been the same scenario as they were in the first round. Kaya was in a 5-game winning streak as well, heading into that matchup in October. Then all of a sudden, Juan Taguig shook the boots of Kaya FC Iloilo.
Yeah, a team like Juan Taguig, they just have such a good formula when they're playing against fellow rivals. So, you know, they started the season beating Cebu, then beat Aguilas, then they lost to Manila Digger. But since then, it's been constant wins. And they beat Kaya before, also beat Maharlika twice. Such an impressive campaign so far.
Aldeguer couldn't get his head to it. Coach Yu Yoshida wants to put on his playing boots again. Casambre with the ball for Kaya. 2 minutes and change out here for Kaya to spoil the party for Juan Taguig. Yamazaki with a good pass. And Rosari with a long ball forward, looking for Mir back on the far post. But Kupic once again rising to the occasion and getting the ball out of the attackers.
So impressive once again from Kupic. Again, it's a very congested penalty area, but he's dominant enough in the air to grab this out of the sky. Up against 2 Kaya players there. And still smothers that ball. Very good performance as well from him. If Agiemang hadn't have gone out, I would have picked him for my man of the match. But Milos Kupic for sure is another contender.
Kupic sends the ball forward for Juan Taguig. Casambre gathers for Kaya. Shutokomaki is the recipient, but couldn't control. Pete Forozuelo is there to cover and is chasing that ball. Again, pushing and shoving between Forozuelo and Komaki. On ball forward. There goes down for Kaya. Ladies and gentlemen, we are up for the most exciting 5 minutes in this second round fixture between Kaya FC Iloilo and Juan Taguig FC. Eso. Sambre. Cross. Ham with the clearance. Menzi. Still with Menzi. Couldn't pull the trigger, and Juan Taguig clears it out of danger. Malaman Soko. And the Juan Taguig crowd came alive. Odd, unable to shoot. Menzi finding Lucas on the right. Sato with the clearance. Aldeguer with the cleanup.
Anywhere will do at the moment for Juan Taguig. It's all hands on deck. Can they hold on for 5 minutes? The pressure is so intense at the moment.
Young fans of Juan Taguig up on their feet. Odi Menzi against Omai So. Aldeguer joining that pressure. Aldeguer out for a throw-in. Young blood against the old guards out here. between Mike Ott and Andres Aldeguer. Long ball forward from Yamazaki. Steven Alm goes down, but up goes Kupic.
Yeah, Malo Mansoko playing as a striker now. They're that desperate, but again, Milos Kupic, safe hands once again. You know, he's good at it because he makes it look easy. This is not easy. You have to smother that. I think there might have been a foul anyway from Malo Mansoko on Stephen Ham, so nothing would have counted. But yeah, the Kaya are desperate now. They're just gonna poke it into the box.
Look at the crowd here. Great smiles from one Taguig FC fans. Why wouldn't they? They have the lead in this game and possibly the lead in the standings. Schrock. Maki. Foul against Kaya. We say lead in the league because they still have a game at hand. Even level on points with Kaya. They still have a game at hand. A couple of games at hand, actually, for one Taguig.
And the thing is for Kaya as well, this is not ideal because their next game, next weekend, is Manila Digger. So, well, there's no good time for a loss, obviously, but the run of games is not ideal.
Another title contender in Manila Digger FC has been in a great run of form coming off that AFC Challenge League campaign, which they will continue on the 5th of March. Del Rosario moving forward. Aldeguer dragging him back. Free kick for Kaya. Crunch time for the boys in yellow and black. Yamazaki sending a long ball forward. Malo Manzoko chested down. Mirpak with a strike, but not able to find the right side of his boots. And one Taguig FC breathes a sigh of relief.
And you know what? We were saying Mirbak hasn't had the chance to score tonight. This was his biggest chance yet, and he doesn't connect well with it. That's not what you expect from the goals that he showed so far. And yeah, Kaya would have gambled at him getting one big chance. There it was.
Dimenzi. Foul committed by Stefan Schrock. Kaya looking for the quick free kick here, but Schrock and Aldeguer wasting time. Yellow card on Stefan John Cena Schrock.
There are the veteran moves that we are talking about.
If the last time is now for Stefan Schrock, you'd love to be on that ride.
Taguig are gonna make a change just to waste more time.
Beto moving up to take this free kick for Kaya as they send the ball forward looking for teammates. Yamazaki to the side for Del Rosario. Coach Arvin and Darren on the touchline barking orders for the defense, and they win the ball against Kaya. Sato with the clearance. So against two players in yellow. Yamazaki. Now Del Rosario looking for the cross. Goes far post for Mike Ott. Too strong of a pass though. Try to leave it for Casambre. Now Ott gets it again. Mirback. Mirback to the middle. Take him down, but no foul called. And Mark Hartman will juggle the ball out. And one Taguig FC makes it 2 wins to 2 against the defending champions, Kaya FC Iloilo.
Well, it's been a performance that has showed so many different layers to their game. One Taguig, they were able to dominate possession when they needed to, but more importantly, they were able to dig in deep. They were down to 10 men since minute 70, and they didn't let it affect their game. This is a performance of a team that is for sure in the title race. If for those of people still wondering whether or not they could do it, I think this was their biggest statement yet.
Breathe of fresh air for Philippines Football League's fans out here as one Taguig FC does a double on Kaya FC Iloilo. 2 wins out of 2. And they will be heading into that championship round with a 2-win advantage over Kaya FC Iloilo. Isaac Agyemang, the difference for one Taguig FC. It's been an eventful game. The defending champions tried their best to level the playing field against the number 2 seed in one Taguig. But Isaac Agyemang said no, and he scored the only goal of this game. One Taguig FC winning 1-0 over Kaya FC Iloilo. The defending champions now trembling on their boots as the title defense is now in danger. You look into the stats out here, ladies and gentlemen. Kaya FC Iloilo dominantly with the possession with a 53-47, 14 shots on goal. Plenty of those shots coming into the final 10 or 15 minutes of the game when they have a 10 or when they have a man advantage. But again, we go back to that Isaac Agyemang's lone goal in the first half and look at the league standings. One Taguig FC moves up to first place with 33 points. And from the rest of us here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, we would like to thank you all for catching this battle of the top 2 of your Philippines Football League. Maraming salamat po. At magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
Tough game, but you got the 3 points. What are your thoughts on the team's performance?
Yeah, it was good. We come here with one objective to win. So every time you play against Cards, it could be a tough game, but I thought we worked really hard. So yeah, we got the 3 points. That's all that matters.
Yeah, when you went down to 10 men, were you a bit concerned? What was the message from the coaching staff?
Don't concede. I mean, that was the message from the get-go, really. If we didn't concede, we know we score goals. It was hard work with 10 men, 20 minutes to go, so our boys did really well. So thanks, guys. I'm going to join in celebrations. Is that okay? Thank you.